to ask your questions. Okay, so welcome to the College of Law. Can you just confirm to me, please, that you can see the PowerPoint presentation that I've got up on my slide? At the moment, it's on it says Professional Legal Studies course, Activate Your Career. Is anyone able to just type a quick yes? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Very good. Okay. So my controller's a little bit fiddly. Right. So the College of Law operates the Professional Legal Studies course in 5 main centres in New Zealand. These are just for Jean's benefit, who's joining us from Mauritius. In New Zealand, the 5 universities that teach law are Auckland University, Waikato, Wellington, Christchurch and Dunedin. And so we actually offer the Profs course in all centres. So yes, you can see the picture of New Zealand and where the Profs course is offered. We have online a blended learning course. So what that means is we're the first to offer blended learning in the professional postgraduate legal environment. What this means is that we have a complement of online learning and associated on-site workshops. So it doesn't really matter where you are in New Zealand or the world for the online component of the course. You can complete that anywhere that there's an internet connection. It does matter for the on-sites. You obviously need to attend one of our 5 centres for the on-site courses. I will explain more about the timing of all of that as I progress with my information session. The current courses that are available are advertised on our College of Law website, and that includes the dates of the courses and the locations of the courses and the price of the courses. Just a little tip for you at this early stage, the price is set to increase from the 1st of November. So at the moment, the price is for domestic students, $5,595, and there is a study link option there. For international students, it's $7,252. So from the 1st of November, there is a slight increase. I'm not the expert on it, but I think it increases by just over $100. So it's not a significant increase, but certainly I'd encourage enrolments before the 1st of November just to save that extra money. Okay, moving on. So about the College of Law. We are part of a wider institution. We offer courses in Australia and we've got centres in the UK and Asia. In New Zealand, we were the first, as I've said, to establish the online on-site blending learning environment for profs. But we don't only teach profs. So we also have NZLPE assistance programs. We also have a graduate diploma in legal practice. We have LLM offerings as well. But for the moment, you're here to learn about profs. So the majority of law graduates in New Zealand who do profs come to us to do the profs. And it's a relevant course whether you're intending to work in legal practice or in private practice or in an NGO or run your own business. The skills that you learn in profs are relevant more widely. Okay, I'll come back to that point. What is professional legal studies? In New Zealand, it's mandatory if you want to practice as a lawyer to complete a professionals course. If you think about it, this is fairly standard for a number of professions. So some of you may have friends who studied medicine, and there is certainly a period of practical training before they're allowed to be doctors. And it's the same with teachers, and it's the same with nurses, and it's the same with lawyers. New Zealand has one of the easiest pathways to the bar in the developed world. You may have heard of the American bar exam. It's fairly infamous for being a challenging exam that you have to pass if you want to be admitted to the bar in America. We don't actually have any exams here. We're an exam-free course. All of the work and the learning that you do is on an internally assessed program with 0 exams. Having been through law school, you would have all attended lectures, and I'll answer that in a minute, Jean. Going through law school, you would have all attended lectures where your lecturer would have explained to you about that subject. So no doubt you all had mandatory courses in contract law. And you would have turned up to the lectures, hopefully, and your lecturer would have explained about the law of misrepresentation and explained what some of the key cases were and perhaps what they're doing in Canada or some of the other jurisdictions, and would have told you what the law is in that legal area. When you leave law school, it is not the case that you have learned all the law that you'll ever need to know to be able to work in law. In fact, quite the contrary. You will be exposed in the practice of law to a much wider variety of legal scenarios. And don't forget, law changes all the time. So what we do here at Profs is we teach skills, not content. What that means is we teach you the skills that you need to know or to be good at to work in law. So rather than teaching you legal topic areas, we might teach you how to bring yourself to understand the legal framework more clearly. So in New Zealand, the New Zealand Council of Legal Education is the regulator, and the regulator determines what you need to know to be admitted to the bar. And so our course is designed to meet those regulations. It's effectively the start of your legal career. If you think of what you learned at law school as being the theoretical knowledge of how law works, and I imagine you can think of that as a bit like a jigsaw puzzle where you learn one segment, maybe criminal law, then learn another segment, maybe tort law and contract and public law, and by the time you graduate, you'll have an idea of how that jigsaw puzzle looks overall. We teach you the skills of how to practice as a lawyer. So it's more of a practical course than what you would have gone through at law school. Okay, I'll move on. When can you start? Well, as soon as you finish your last exam. We recommend that you make contact with our inquiry centre as soon as you can. You are able to enrol once you have finished your last law exam. When is that for you? Would that be October, November? If someone could just type in a little bit and let me know when your last law exam is here. You don't actually need to have received your results to be able to enrol in our course. We can confirm you to the course once the results come through. Okay. The Profs Program. Okay, so we have a professional offering that takes one of 4 forms. I'll just explain what they are. They're all the same except for the timetabling. So you can select your timetabling. They're all the same in that they all teach the same skills across the same subject areas, but you can select whether you do it in one of 4 ways. The 4 ways are the short form course. This is what we call the full-time offering. It takes 13 weeks from beginning to end. And it's designed for students who are prepared to treat it as a full-time course of study. It requires around 37 hours of study each week, which is quite an investment, isn't it? An investment of time, but the trade-off for that is that you're through a lot quicker and you can get your completion certificate more quickly. Our standard offering is the 18-week part-time course. The time commitment for the 18-week part-time course is around 27 hours a week. So it's a little bit longer than the full-time course, but it's also more manageable if you have other commitments in your life, whether it's work or family, or sport, or whatever you're up to. We also offer evening courses. This is also an 18-week timetable. But what we do with the evening course is that we offer the on-site component in the evening. So it might be a Tuesday evening, say 5:30 through 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. They're quite a challenge for our students. We find the evening courses are populated by students who are working, and so they come after work. And so you need, if you choose an evening course, you need to have a reserve of energy and be able to stay awake at night after a full day's work. But it is an option if you're one of those people who are working and can't get time off in the day to attend on-sites. We do have that evening option for you, as well as a weekend option. So that's our fourth offering. We have an 18-week part-time offering where the on-sites are held on weekends. This, however, the weekend offering only runs once a year and only in Auckland and Wellington. At the moment, that looks to be scheduled for about May or June next year for the weekend offering. Okay. So essentially, we have two main course lengths that you can choose from. One is the 13-week full-time course, and the other is the standard 18-week course. It's simply an issue of timetabling. It has the same content, it has the same on-site requirements. So let's just look at that on-site versus online requirement. The online aspect is, it assumes that you're all used to studying and you're able to, it's an adult self-managed learning environment. So we provide a platform within Canvas. Canvas is it's a fantastic online learning system. It's used in Harvard, and I think Auckland University also uses Canvas. We use Canvas. You're enrolled in the Canvas environment, in the subjects that you do, and then you have a timetable that's appropriate to you, and you do your module work. You submit work to your instructor. You are allocated an instructor, someone who is experienced in law, who will look at your work and give you feedback in terms of your skills development as reflected in that work. You could think of your online instructor as being like a benign supervisor in legal practice, someone who will look at your work and say, well, you need to think about this, or maybe approach it from that perspective, or think about, this aspect. So you'll get feedback and prompts on your work as you go through. What you end up doing is submitting a portfolio in that subject, and the portfolio is assessed. So I won't complicate it with a great amount of detail there, but at the moment it's probably helpful for you to know that you have 3 core subjects and then 1 elective choice subject within our system. So when you enroll with us, the first core subject is property, and that's followed up with your commercial practice subject. Then you have your civil litigation subject, and then 1 of the elective areas. So the elective, you can choose either to study within corporate or family or in-house practice or criminal law. So ultimately you submit 4 portfolios over the course of your 13 weeks or 18 weeks of online work with us. The on-sites are, there's an initial on-site, lawyers' skills, which is like an orientation on-site. It's a very important day for you to attend actually. Lawyers' skills is not only interesting, but important. No, I don't have a slide on the on-sites. Then you have an on-site on interviewing, and then you have an on-site for negotiation, and then you have at the end an advocacy on-site. Now, Jean, you have asked, are on-site days continuous? No, we split the on-sites up. So you start off online, you do a little bit of online work, and then you come in and you do interviewing and negotiation. And for a lot of the courses, they are back-to-back days. So you might do, I think it's 3 days interviewing followed up with 3 days negotiation. So that might be back-to-back. And then you do more online work, and then you come back and you do your advocacy, and that's 7 days. There is some flexibility to shift on sites or transfer on sites. The on sites are taken by experienced instructors who who all choose to do this face-to-face teaching and to be involved in passing on their knowledge to the next generation of lawyers. We often hear from students how they've really loved their on-site experiences with us, not only for the teaching that they've received, but also because it's been an opportunity for them to get to know their colleagues, the people that they're going to go forward into the profession with. Okay. Right, so this is a skills-based course. You will learn by doing. What we do in our course is we say, here's a file, we get you to pretend it's a real client file. It's not, but pretend it is. And we say, this file raises a number of issues. Could you report to the client on them, or could you report to the supervisor on them? And they're all issues that you would likely come across as a junior and supervised practice. So the tasks are appropriate to the sort of tasks you might expect once you start working as a lawyer. You learn by doing, not just by reading. So we're asking you to solve problems and to make practical progress with transactions. And as I mentioned earlier, we don't have any exams in our course. We have an extensive online library that you can access to help you to progress with your studies, LexisNexis, for example. And you do receive one-on-one feedback on your online submissions from your instructor. We also have a number of options to communicate with instructors by phone calls and video. I like doing it by video link. When I have a group, I sometimes do an announcement by video, or if somebody needs my special help on an issue, I'll often set up a video conference. So we are in an online environment, in a self-managed learning environment, which means you're working away wherever you are on the materials in your own time, in your own way. However, there's some flexibility there. If you need to reach out to us, we're here to help guide you through the course, and we can always spare time and make time to communicate with you by phone or by video. If you're stuck in, say, Invercargill or Blenheim and you want to make contact with us in Auckland, it's possible. It's easy. Okay. Yes, Jean. Jean's asked if we can make an arrangement for international student for the on-sites to save buying e-tickets twice for the course. Absolutely, Jean. We can talk about that to the side, but certainly if you email the inquiries team with your special needs there in terms of arranging your time in New Zealand, we can tell you what the options are. 5 reasons to choose the College of Law. Okay. Practical. Our course is very practical. That is a common feedback thing that we hear from students. They just say it was an incredibly practical course that helped to get them work ready. And that's absolutely the case about our course. It's tailored. We have elective subjects that you can choose to tailor to your own interests and your own work plan. So criminal, family, in-house, or corporate. You just choose one of those 4. Flexible, we do have a number of flexible offerings. We have a large range of intakes across the 5 cities. In terms of when you can start, I had a look at the next few months worth of scheduled start dates. There are 2 to 3 start dates every month. So the flexibility is there in terms of when you're ready and what's going on in your life. You can have a look on our website and find out what advertised start dates are available at the moment. Support. Yes, you can learn from instructors who have experience in practice. And confidence. We give you comprehensive course materials. You actually get a set of hard copy practice papers to keep. And a number of students have told us time and time again that the practice papers alone are worth the course fee. They are a rich resource of practical and pragmatic tips for you to take in, and I'm sure students use them well after Profs is finished when they go on with their practice. And you can download this book, go to our website and look at the booklet. The Professional Legal Studies Handbook gives you further information along the lines of what you study and when you can study it. And here is a quote from a former student. There were great lecturers who were understanding and supportive of my work commitments. Not only did the College of Law inspire me for my future legal career, that's good, but they also made the process of completing my Profs hassle-free. Okay, I'm going to end the slideshow now, and I don't think that will end the session. Okay, I've ended the slideshow, and I'm available to answer your Q&As or your chat. So just type away any questions that you have for me, please. Just one early question: can you fail profs? Do we need to be supervised? Okay, I'll come back to your one about supervision. Okay, so the way we work here at the college, it's not like university. Don't bring your university mindset to profs. At university, you study a subject and then you might do some internally assessed work, but eventually you sit an exam and you fail or you pass the exam, and that's you done for that subject. You fail it or you pass it. It's not the case here. It's the skills-based course at college, and skills take time and practice to develop. So we actually have a system here of continuous development. You have 4 portfolios to submit and they're all assessed, but you can't fail the course just on one portfolio. So we look at the progress of your learning across 4 portfolios, and our experience is by the end of the course, students' work looks really different to what it looked like at the beginning of the course. The terminology that we use is you're competent in the particular skill, or you're not yet competent in the particular skill. And it's not just being clever with words. That really is the case. If a student is not yet competent, what it means is you need more practice in that skill. We need to spend more time with you on that skill. The aim of the course is at the end of the course, you will be competent in all of the skills, and you will be released into the world and endorsed as ready to be a lawyer. It's very difficult to fail profs if you're prepared to put the work in. Because we're prepared to put the work into you. We really genuinely want to see the students get through. Okay, do we need to be supervised by a practicing lawyer while doing profs? No. Not all of our students have jobs. A number of them do, but a number of them do not. So it's actually a really good option for students who don't yet have jobs. If you can complete profs, then it adds to your CV, and then you can apply for jobs and you've got this behind you, so you're a little bit more work ready. Employers are a little bit more ready to show you an opportunity, I think. So the short answer to your question is no, you don't need to be supervised by a lawyer whilst doing profs. Next question. Once we sign up for a profs course, are we given an assignment schedule so we can plan around the course if we want to travel or have other commitments? Absolutely. And if you are looking, Ahana, at a particular date, if you know you have travel or other commitments, it might be worth exploring that timetable with our inquiries administration team to find out how that can align with the dates that you've got in mind and what can be done, which intake is the most suitable for you. But yes, we can certainly disclose, we let you know all the dates. You're welcome, Ahana. Rhythm, hello. Which format of course would you recommend if you're going to be working weekdays and then part-time? Okay, so the question is, which format of the course would you recommend if you're going to be working essentially full-time through to the end of January, and then only part-time from the end of January onwards? I would say, Rhythm, that's a good question for you to take up directly with our admin team. Have a look on our website at the course start dates, the offerings there, to see you might so we have 2 or 3 starting dates a month, so you might be best tailoring your start date for to start towards sometime in January, so that you can then have the time once you stop working full-time to spend more time on the course. You can certainly start the course even while working full-time. Lots of our students do our course whilst working full-time. It probably means that you don't get to watch much TV for a few months or for a few weeks, but it is temporary and you will get through. There is a time commitment involved, but yeah, I don't think working full-time precludes you from doing our course at the same time. Any more questions? Oh, you're welcome, Rhythm. One thing to bear in mind with the college, just letting you know now, is we offer what's called a graduate diploma of legal practice. This offering is such a good opportunity. If you do profs and you get through your profs, then you add on to that 12 weeks supervised practice, and then you add on to that 4 analytical essays of about 1,500 to 2,000 words. If you've enrolled in the Graduate Diploma of Professional Practice, you can actually then get that diploma, so you have an additional qualification. So the first step of a graduate diploma is the Profs course. And once you've got the Profs course over and done with, to actually finish off the diploma is basically 3 months' work and 4 essays, and you have the diploma. So I understand that the course fee for a graduate diploma is $750 plus GST. So that's something that distinguishes the college's professional course, and that maybe you could just bear in mind, talk to people about. Is that little added value there if you want to get a graduate diploma as well as your profs. Any more questions? No more questions. Okay, so no one's got any more questions. All right. So maybe you could just type in for me where you would be looking. What I've got 7 attendees. So where would you be looking at doing your profs? Would it be Auckland, Wellington, Christchurch, Dunedin, Waikato? Auckland, great. Yeah. Auckland, thanks, Kate. Jean, I've had a number of students come from Mauritius that I've taught, so you're certainly not the first. Yeah, Jean, you're coming from Wellington, from Mauritius. Great. Okay. All right. Well, it doesn't seem that there are any other questions for me. I really hope that this has helped you to understand our course in a little bit more detail. And I hope that I will get to see you if you come, especially the Auckland people. I'm Auckland based. So I'm Jeanette Hobbs, and I teach out of Auckland. I teach online across the country, but if you do on-sites, you might actually see me here in Auckland, and I'd love to see you here. So good luck with your finals. Enroll as soon as you can, and